Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live on a Friday night, and I'm your host, Jake Johnson. And tonight, we're going to talk about troubles in Texas and the banality of bribery. How are you doing? And we're going to rock out. We're going to chat. We're going to do all kinds of things. How you doing tonight? I am having an exceptionally good hair day. Hope you are too. Kevin, what's up, buddy? You get the gold star tonight. Says, hey, anybody, I am the first to enter the famous Jake podcast. Hell yeah. Well, I don't know about all that, but thank you. I am with April, a.k.a. Luscious. Hey, April. I just spoke to myself on the podcast. You did. Isn't that interesting? Amanda, hey, darling. She says, hi, chat. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Hey, Jake. How are you tonight, love? I'm tarred and feathered or something. Kevin, here's your star. Hi, Kevin, says Amanda. How is everybody? We went from 5 to 2. I guess the mustache scared 3 of you off. That's all right. It kind of worries me sometimes, too. Does things while I'm sleeping, you know. What a wonderful night. It's warm outside, which is shockingly different than what's been happening. It's nice, but it's been kind of rainy the past couple of days, and it didn't rain today, but it rained yesterday, and I was out in it all day, and it's probably going to rain tomorrow. But today was nice. Lisa-Reen, how are you? 3, hiya. Hey, Lisa-Reen, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying warm. I hope all is like it should be. Copacetic. Amanda says, hi, Lisa-Reen. Tonight's episode is brought to you by this hot cup of coffee. Hey, Jake, Amanda, Kev, Lisa, says April. Hey, April, how are you, sweetheart? How are you doing? It's fantastic. I am driving, but not lost, says Kevin. Well, that's good. Glad you're not lost. You're lost, aren't you? Completely, hopelessly lost. Take the left lane. It'll take you where you need to go. That's been, you fish off the right side of the boat and you take the left lane. Simple as that. It's been quite the week in news and politics and in the world in general. Been a lot going on. I do not envy those of you who live out in the Midwestern areas because things are heating up down there in Texas. It's going to be rough. I bought the movie Priscilla today, LOL. It wasn't but $25. I downloaded it too, LOL. Wow. I didn't know Priscilla had a movie. Why does Priscilla have a movie? Priscilla didn't make any hit records. All she did was bang the king. And his karate instructor, apparently. Lisa-Reen says, hi, Kevin and April. You guys are always driving. You taxi driving on the side? Sounds like you might have missed an opportunity there, Kev. I just had some prime rib. Awesome. With horseradish. Yeah. And good to see you, Amanda, says Lisa-Reen. Yeah, I had a ham and turkey sandwich. That's what I ate for dinner. And some tater chips. And it was delicious. Ugh, says April. Always around the time we get done working and eating. Fab Daddy, what's up, brother? Good to see you. How are you, fine sir? So this is what's going on in Texas. So you know. If you don't already know. We've had a problem with people coming over the border without paperwork and vanishing into the inner regions of the world here. Texas has decided, well, if the government's not going to stop this, it's upon us to protect our land, protect our borders. So they put up border guards in the form of, barbed wire or razor wire or walls or whatever, and they've got some people out there to try to curtail some of this illegal entry. Our government, however, has decided, no, you can't do that. So they have removed the wire. And so Texas put it back because this is Texas, damn it. We're going to do what we do in Texas. And if you're not going to do it, we will, because we're Texas. Well, Joe Biden has an opportunity here to prove that he actually cares about the country and, put a stop to this invasion, as they were to call it. Or he could federalize the National Guard, which requires Government Abbott's signature, as I understand it. And I could be wrong about that. But either way, it's looking like we're at the precipice of an armed conflict. And by armed, I don't mean people shooting at each other. I mean that both parties are armed and they're on opposite sides of an idea, which wouldn't take much at all. This is a powder keg for sure. Any person get jumpy and do the wrong thing, and we're in civil war like that, because lots of states are already taking Texas's side on this because they're doing what constitutionally is their right to do, protect the border. That's what you're supposed to do. That's, if you're not doing that, you're acting against the country. You're in effect committing insurrection. So, you should, if you run a country, probably protect its borders, because that's the main job of the person who runs a country. That's not happening. So we are in a situation which could turn into something really big, really fast. Razor wire is sharp. Yes, it is. And it does the job effectively. Let's see what I miss. Amanda says, hi, Fab Daddy. April says, Fab Daddy, hey, buddy, good to see you, love. Amanda says, I had juice and 3 kumquats today. Shh. Fab Daddy says, free day at the bar today. Ooh, that sounds nice. April says, Amanda, LOL. Ugh, I know, hun. Lisa Reen says, Oklahoma is sending folks to Texas to help. Holding the line, yay. Well, listen, I know that a lot of people are going to do that because that's what they feel they should do. And I wouldn't tell them not to. But I will say this. If people start joining the cause, it's going to cause the government to push against that, because they'll be losing control, in effect, which is probably a good thing, but it's gonna result in bad things. And I don't want to see that happen. I want to see something happen, but I don't think it needs to result to, war on our country, amongst our country. And it's looking like it's going to turn into that. I hope it doesn't. And I hope that any sane person would think that too. But something does need to happen. I mean, if we can survive another 10 months, maybe it will happen. But good on Oklahoma. Way to go, Oklahoma, says Amanda. Yeah. April says, he thinks he did it already in his dreams or something. He thought about he did it. Maybe. I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, Biden did it. He will swear he did with a straight face, OMG. Help. Yeah, well, that's true. That is true. He's saying that he is protecting the border, yet his people are opening the border. That's the opposite of protecting it. So it's rhetoric versus actions, and the actions are opposite of the rhetoric. So, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's at fault here. I don't know what. I know that Texas is doing what Texas should be doing, which is protecting their own interests, because it's getting out of hand, especially in Texas. When you've got major Democrat cities such as Chicago and New York panicking, saying they don't know what to do with all these migrants that are coming in from all over the place, that's when you know you have a problem. Because if you remember a couple of years ago, they were swearing they were sanctuary cities. Come on in, we'll take you. Now they're saying, we need to stop this. It's getting kind of out of hand. We don't know what we're going to do with all these people. Can't feed everybody. Well, you get what you pay for, You made your bed, you lay in it. I get that. But there are ways that this could be resolved without conflict, and I hope that we can figure that out. I hope that the adults start talking real soon, because if they don't, it's going to result in bloodshed, and I really don't want to see that happen. Lisa Reen says, right after pooing in his pants, right? Yeah. There's some definite cognitive disarray happening before our very eyes. LOL. Lisa Reen says, Amanda. Fab Daddy says, airports bring in more people than the southern border, and don't get me going about our Canadian border. Well, that is incorrect, sir, but they do bring a fair amount. That is true, but not more than the people that are crossing the border. You're incorrect about that. You need to go down there and take a look if you haven't already. It's insane. Insane. And by the way, the people that are on planes, there are only two ways they can do that. And there is some conspiracy going on about that. And you know, the conspiracy is 6 months from being the truth. But some people are saying that there are boarding passes that have no name given written on them, and, you know, things like that, where people are just being boarded on the planes. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't done any research into it, so I don't know. But I do know that generally when a person from another country comes in on an airplane, they went through customs and they have paperwork, which is why they could get on the plane. Now, what's happening inside the country, I don't know. But I do know when people come from outside the country, they're usually here on a visa, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine for immigrants to come in legally. Nobody has any problems with that. It's the people that are coming in without legality that's the problem. That is a federal crime, and they should be immediately deported. Ugh, says April. And then, as if that ain't bad enough, the news dropped that one of the senators tried to bribe Carrie Lake, or governor, one of the governors, the head of the Republican Party in that area in Arizona, tried to bribe Carrie Lake to stay out of running for politics for 2 years because they didn't want her to help Trump win. Basically, that's the gist of it. There's more to it than that. But it was a threat. It was a veiled threat. And the guy even said, you know, if I go public with this, I'll go and turn my key in my car and it'll go, you know. People from the East, meaning the East Coast, powerful people don't want you to run for 2 years. We'll give you a job, make you a talking head. Well, there's some company will take you in and give you lots of money, just not run. Well, Carrie Lake is very, very popular in her area, and she's probably the closest thing we have to a female Trump. Her and that blonde-headed chick. Can't think of her name. You know the one, the little short one that's so mean. I like her. Anyway, that's a revelation. That guy just resigned today, by the way. I can't remember his name either, but he was the head of the Republican Party in that area, the leadership, and he resigned because he tried to bribe Carrie Lake and he got caught. She had it on tape. And let that be a lesson to you. Always tape your phone conversations if there's any discrepancy as to who you're talking to. You know, if there's any chance that something can be misconstrued or used against you, make sure you have a backup. Tape it. It's worth it. Can't we just have a season that's good, a season of peace before we die? Please, God, help us keep faith, loving God, and families. Oh, yes, April, we can have a season of peace. We've already had one. We had 4 years of relative peace when a certain orange fella was in office. And then we had 4 years of utter horror in every direction. And maybe we'll have 4 years of peace again if he wins. So go vote, and vote properly, whatever that means. Lisa Reen says, we had that season for this lifetime already, I think. Yes, we did. We grew up in it, actually. It was quite nice. And none of this stuff seemed to be an issue. And it'll be that way again because things are cyclical. They work in a oscillating fashion. We go and we come and we go and we come, and it just keeps happening. Outer Territories, what's up, brother? He says, imagine all the needs, work, and other real issues on the back burner because states, Congress, courts, cities, and governments are wasting such vast time and resources on clown world BS. I couldn't have said it better myself there, Outer Territories. I appreciate that. Nice input. April says, absolutely. Hi, Outer, says Amanda. Outer Territories says, you skipped my gator suggestion. See? Happens all the time. Is this thing on? Is this thing working? Did I miss one? I'm sorry. Let me go back and look. I did not miss one. April says, hi, MVTV, much love. Lisa Reen says, true story, Outer Territories. Yeah, Outer says, hi, ladies. I see how it is. Don't say hi to me. Well said, says April. Yeah, there are actual crimes being committed that nobody seems to even see happen. But let's make sure we get all those old people that went to the Capitol and minded the velvet ropes and forgot to bring their guns, but were completely insurrecting the country. Yeah, let's put those people in prison. But murderers, we'll get them eventually. Outer Territory says, why not airdrop gators into the Rio Grande? That was my point. That was from the other podcast, and I didn't forget that. I saw it. That was from Wednesday. Wednesday? I don't remember. I do remember you saying that, though. I just don't remember when you said it, but it wasn't tonight. I think you're probably right about that. Probably be a good idea. April says, LOL. Amanda says, oh, had me lost for a minute. Outer says, me starting to repeat myself. Nah. Schizophrenia sitting in there, Outer Territory. I'm schizophrenic. I hear voices. Of course, they all speak Spanish, and I have no idea what they're saying. So, yeah, there's that. Yep, you're right, old Dada, says Outer Territories. Well, you know, I think we should probably build that wall, which, by the way, Biden is now currently doing or claiming to do. So there's something to be said for that. I remember when it was bad to say that, but now they're doing it. So seems to be that way a lot. Happens a lot. People say you can't say something, and then the other side starts saying it, and they're like, well, so much for that. Outer says, I'm having some great fun with my new trail cam. Have you got Bigfoot yet? Set it up at the suspected mountain lion den, braced for drama, and got 128 pictures and videos of mice. Were they mean-looking mice, at least? Lisa Reen says, insanity is rampant in our government, from top to bottom, and behind and under and everywhere. Yes, it is. It's not just insanity, though. It's benevolent evil. It's the banality of evil. It's the banality of bribery. It happens a lot more than you'd like to know. This guy issued a statement that bribed Carrie Lake, and in that statement, he said, I didn't realize I did anything wrong. This is just the way you do business. We were having a friendly business conversation, and she totally stuck it to me, which leads me to believe that this guy doesn't realize he did anything wrong, because that's what he's accustomed to doing, working with bribes, putting pressure on people, leaning on people, manipulating the situation to his advantage. That's not the way you're supposed to run things. That's wrong. But this guy's so used to it, he doesn't even see it as wrong anymore. His moral compass is broken. So you need to be aware of that the leaders of the world, the people that live on this upper tier of society with this upper echelon way of living, this money that they have, this power that they have, it breaks their moral compass and they begin to not be able to see what the common man sees very clearly. That's not the way you do things. You don't push people. You work with people. You do things for people. You're a servant. You're the government. That means to be a public servant, not the other way around. They don't see it that way anymore. You need to watch out for that. April says, everybody hit that like button, please. Subscribe, share, and support your local Jake Johnson. He's working hard for you. Thank you, April. Outer Georgia says, but it's easy to set up for ringnecks. Talk about a difference up close. Amazing colors. Wow. Already nailed 2 variations. One fuzzy head like a mohawk and one with a white head stripe like Gizmo. Or Stripe, or one of those gremlins. Ugh, says April. Are you Charlie Brown? When did you start saying ugh all the time? Ugh. Whatever is in the air right now, as I am riding in the car, stinks. OMG, ugh, it's probably a dead cow. That happens. Outer says, nothing like a stinky car and being unable to do anything about it. Roll down the windows. Roll up the windows. Kevin, don't fart. Lisa Reen says, I am really leaning towards believing that we are in Satan's short season. Well, you need to believe it, honey, because we're there. I don't know about what season we're in, but I promise you, he's calling the shots right now. Believe that. If we are not smack dab in it, we are right up to the edge of the tribulation. That's where we are. That's the period, and we're at the end of the 70 weeks of Daniel, and we have begun the transition part into the end of the world. Now, I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm not making any predictions here. We may live out our lives and never see it. Our children may never see it. I don't know. But I do know that we're at that moment in time. So be paying attention to what's happening, because everything is relevant. And it's all been recorded. And you can find it in that book we study every weekend. And there it is. April says, golly, finally getting through it. Woo, ugh. Outer Territory says, I call him Gizmo, thanks. It's either Gizmo or Stripe. I can't remember which one had the mohawk. Kevin says, if I fart, it will smell like prime ribs. Yum. Hey, Kevin, says Amanda. April says, Lamau, really? I wasn't making it up. We're passing it. LOL, MBTV. It was outside. It's gone now, but whatever it was, I seriously held my breath. Probably a dead cow or a dead deer or something like that. We get a lot of those around here. Lots of random smells. You really notice it when you're on a motorcycle too. You can kind of miss some of it in a car, but when you're on a bike, you can smell the grass. Everything has a smell. The pavement has a smell. I went out at dusk tonight at what I thought was a big badger colony of sets. Colony of sets. But on approach, dozens of prairie dogs began alert calling. Great audio. Cams in the middle of dozens of active mounds. Well, are you going to put any of those videos up for us to enjoy with you? Because that would be nice. Amanda says, it's the wonderful smell of good old Polk County. Blech. Smells like meth. April says, Lamau, Amanda nailed it. Smells like meth and coconut oil. Blech. And Budweiser or something. And cow shit. I like the smell of cow shit. I miss that. I know, odd, right? But if you live there, you understand. Outer Territory says, that's good, April. I know you can pass a skunk, and it takes a few miles to clear. Or some tomato juice, which is probably not true, by the way. It's probably an old wives' tale. I don't know. I've never done it. April says, I never smelled a skunk. Thank God. I pray I never do. Well, they smell skunky. I have smelled a skunk, but never one that sprayed me. Just residual smells. I've never been sprayed by a skunk. Because I'm smart enough not to mess with wild animals. Unless I'm trying to kill it. Never smelled skunk. Wow. That's like describing the color blue to the blind. You're blessed, says Outer Territories. Yeah. You know how you describe the color blue to the blind? Tell them it smells grassy. They don't know. You can tell them anything you want to. They don't know. They can't call you on it. Is there a resemblance? Says April. Amanda says, tomato juice will get rid of a skunk smell. I had a dog one time to get mixed up with a skunk and got sprayed. We had to give her tomato bath. Huh? Says April. Yep. Good old tomato juice. April says, LOL, Jake. Well, I mean, you could write that in Braille, but, you know. Nah, you can't see. I'm sorry, was that insensitive? You can't find me. Ha, 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 ha. Hell's bells, says April. Now, how would you know a detail like that? For all you know, they don't have metal in hell. I mean, it is hot. Maybe it's all melted. How can you make a bell in hell? So what do you guys think about the soon-to-be Senator Carrie Lake? Has any of you followed her? Do you know who she is? Do you like her? What do you think of her motives? Do you think she was in the right for releasing that tape during an election year, which she's had for a couple of years now? What do you think? You tell me. What are your thoughts on the subject? And what about Texas? What should we do in Texas? What do you ideally like to see done about Texas and the situation that's currently escalating as we speak? She seems great, says Lisa Reen. I think so, too. I seem to feel like she's honest. You know, it could be an act. I don't know that much about her. But from what I've seen, it seems like she's a straight go-getter type that really wants to do something good for the world, believes in God, and is leading with her heart. And I think that might be a good thing, or it might be terrible. I don't know, but I think it's good. Glenn Beck interviewed her today. Interesting. I think she did the right thing. Texas, Gators, saltwater Crocs would be my preference if the Rio Grande was salty. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, my concern is, this is what I think. Now, there is a constitutional amendment that says that the federal government can federalize the National Guard if the laws aren't being followed, and if the governor, say if we're under attack, like if we're being invaded, they can federalize the National Guard with the governor of that state's permission. He has to sign off on it. That's the way I understand it. I might be wrong about that. You can check me if you like, but I'm not above scrutiny of fact checkers, but at least be correct is all I'm saying. But if Biden federalizes the National Guard, Tim Pool makes a good point on this subject. People from Texas are going to protect Texas because that's their home. They're not going to follow that order. But if it comes down to civil war and you're like, well, the government wants me to fight Texas, but I'm from Texas. This is my home. My mother lives down the road. No, I'm protecting my family. That's what I'm going to do. That's the same kind of situation that some of the folks in the Civil War were put in, and that's what they did. They protected their state because that's their home. Government schmoverment at that time, you know what I'm saying? So I think it would probably be a bad move on Biden's part to federalize the National Guard, because that would be instigating or inciting civil war, because the only move he really has is to back down, or Governor Abbott and Biden come to some consensus that isn't the best ideal for both of them, but they can walk away from it. A negotiation where nobody's completely happy, but both parties get something they want. If they could do that and de-escalate this situation, that would be great, because Texas has had enough. And they've already said to the government, if you come take our fences down, we're just going to put them right back up as soon as you walk away. Well, that's only going to happen once or twice, and then it's going to escalate. And we really don't want that to happen. April says, I don't know anything about the Texas situation. Well, you better inform yourself, honey, because it's just across the Gulf of Mexico from where you're at, which is about, 200 miles as the crow flies? It wouldn't take much for that war to jump over to Florida. That's all I'm saying. You better be prepared to understand what's happening. You don't have to get all invested in it and get involved, but see it. It's happening right now in this country. It's never been like that since the Civil War. This is a bad, bad situation, no matter how you look at it. Lisa Reen says they would only do that so as to start that civil war they want. It's the reason the border is opened. I can't disagree with you there. There's a lot of people that seem to think that, and that may be very well true. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me why a government would want their border opened. Why they would push such policies? Because all it's doing is destroying this country. There's got to be a reason for it, and I don't think they're stupid. They might be incompetent, but I don't think they're stupid. So you might very well be right about that. I don't know. Outer Territory says the feds can be theoretically federalized. The feds can theoretically federalize a state's guard to undo a governor's orders, as Eisenhower did in 1957, when the governor of Arkansas deployed troops to block black students from school. Yes. Or if the country's being invaded in that state, they can do that too, I think. I'm not real sure. Either way, in this situation, I think Texas is doing what you're supposed to be doing. They're following the Constitution. Remember, Texas used to be its own country. They really don't have to do any of this. They have a right to secede. But they are doing it because somebody needs to, and the government ain't doing it. So I don't think they're in the wrong here. They might be going about it the wrong way, but I think the sentiment is right. But I think Biden's overzealousness to push back on dissent might end up causing a war, because I don't think either side's going to back down without some conciliatory notion in place. I don't know. Again, don't listen to me. Watch the news. I'm just talking about it amongst my friends. April says, yikes. Yes. Outer Territory says, but I 100%. It would be useless, as the Texans who live there and serve in the Guard would tell them to pound sand. That's exactly what I think. First of all, everything's bigger in Texas. You know that. And I'm from fucking Texas. That's their mentality. They're not backing down from this. I don't see that happening. I see that they've decided to step up and do something about the problem, because it's a problem. And when you get your mind made up, you don't back down. And I think that's what's going to happen. CWL, what's up, buddy? He says that explains why Texans are moving here. It could be. Could very well be. Amanda says, hi, CWL. Hey, Jot, what's up there? Hadn't seen you in a while. How you doing? She says, why is it so bad other than we are overpopulated already? What's so bad? What are we talking about? Why is what so bad other than we are overpopulated already? Well, it's bad because there's a law on the books in the Constitution in the Bill of Rights that give citizens rights to their country, which they are native to. There's a law that says you have to come in legally, as the folks did in Ellis Island, as many immigrants have done over the years. And it's also a law that says you cannot come in illegally. If you do not have a border, you do not have a country. It's as simple as that. Borders are what makes countries countries. Now, whether you believe in that whole thing or not, it's a different story. That's irrelevant to what we're talking about. All of these people coming in, and there are lots more than are being reported. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people coming in every single day, and nobody knows where they're going. And they are not legal. That means they are breaking the law right off the bat. If those same people were to come in the proper channels, which I know that's more difficult, but if they were to come in the right way, nobody would have a problem with them being here. That's not the issue. The issue is they're breaking the law, and they need to be stopped, because that's going to break many, many, many other laws, because we don't know who they are. We don't know what kind of people they are. 100%. Some people you don't want coming in are going to come in that way. And also 100%, those people are going to have a carte blanche to break all the laws they want, because they're not following the first law, which is to come in legally. So that's why it's bad. It's bad on many, many levels. Also, there's no infrastructure to maintain a bunch of extra people all of a sudden. You know, it takes effort to put people in places and feed them and give them jobs and all that stuff. Somebody has to pay for that. In this case, it'll be the taxpayer, because they're not working for it. They're getting handed money and cards and getting, shipped all over the place. That's coming out of people's pockets. It ain't coming out of the government's pocket. You can bet that. So there's 3 reasons right there why it's bad. I hope that answers the question. April says, hi, CWL. Good to see ya. Amanda says, hi, AJOT. CWL says, to swing the votes in their favor. Some people think that. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason or not, but I promise you there is a reason, and it's being perpetrated as we speak. AJOT says, hi, Amanda. CWL says, hello, everyone. Hey, CWL. Hey, AJOT. April says, AJOT, love. Oh, sorry. AJOT, love you. How are you, hun? How are you, hun? I want to say, how are you, hun? April says, Kevin says Biden is gay. Well, I don't know. That wouldn't matter. I'm good. Thanks for asking, April, says AJOT. Fab Daddy says, message retracted. Come on, Fab Daddy, say what you got to say. Outer Territory says, evening, AJOT. Lisa Reen says, people who don't mind doing things that are illegal are effing criminals. Okay. Yes, if you're doing something illegal, you are by definition a criminal. April says, eat my shorts, Biden Lamau. Let's go, Brandon. Whatever. AJOT says, evening, Outer Territories. Fab Daddy says, I blame John McCain. Well, I'm sure he had a hand in it. President PDF file, says Outer Territories. Yeah. CWL says, Biden ain't gay. He's just really good at playing the skin flute. He ain't gay. He just walks funny. April says, AJOT, missed you, girl. How's the baby girl doing? Oh, you got a baby? Awesome. Kevin says, Jake is not from Texas. He is from Juanita, Florida. The meth is better in Juanita. Amen, brother. I'm not from Juanita, but I did live there for a little while. I lived in Floodville, too, which is about just as bad. This actually might be worse. I don't know. April says, wow, CWL, I like the way you're thinking. Ha-ha. AJOT says, then fix the system. I think a lot of things need to be fixed, and it ain't my job to fix the system. I barely can live in the system. I'm just talking about it. But I agree with you. We need to fix a lot of things. And cooler heads definitely need to prevail, because if we keep going the way we're going, it's a fair bet we're going to end the Civil War, and I don't think that should happen. I think we should probably avoid that at all costs, even though it's probably going to end up like that at some point. I really hope it doesn't. I hope the adults start talking real soon. Man says, LOL, Kevin, he's from Georgia. Yeah, he knows that. Understood when it's put that way, but it's the system failing, says AJ. I agree. It is the system failing. However, that system was put in place against the majority of Americans' opinion because, you know, if you ask the majority, they want the border closed. They want people from other countries, until we can figure out who the bad guys are, stop those people from coming around. Until, not permanently. Those people wanted some semblance of law and order. Those people wanted some force of people that could handle the immigrant crisis that we're under at the time. And they were, you could say that they were obfuscated from their right to have that. If you get my drift. Fab Daddy says, the people wouldn't care as much if they could make a living wage. Not true. Everybody needs to make a living wage. What does that term even mean? A living wage. By that, do you mean make enough money to assuage the cost of living? Because that goes up and down frequently. Do you mean $1,000 a week? Do you mean a living wage above minimum wage? Because that would be retarded. Think about what you're saying. Only people that don't own companies say things like that. Anybody that's actually involved in economics understands that you cannot raise minimum wage because that makes the prices go up, because somebody still has to pay for things. And as you can see, go buy a chicken sandwich and remember 4 years ago when you bought a chicken sandwich, and you'll understand why it's not a good idea to print money willy-nilly, because money has to be backed by something. You can't just introduce it. But it's a nice thought. That just ain't how the world works. April says, we can bitch about it. Nothing's going to change till Biden is out. I'm just going to live one day at a time and believe in God and have faith and stay humble and love. Amen, April. Well, even if Biden's out, and that's the problem, that most people are looking at the world kind of like this, even if our side wins, that's not going to stop the problems. There's more people involved than just that one guy that's sitting up there in front of everybody's face. He is a figurehead. The only power he has is to veto and executive order things. That's it. Laws are written by congressmen. The Supreme Court can't make laws. They can enforce them, but they can't make them. So there's a lot of people involved. Biden is just one bad apple. There's other bad apples on both sides. You know, it's left wing, right wing, same bird. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch that. It's easy to fall into teams and categories, and I'm even guilty of that, and everybody is. But you got to look above that. You got to be wiser than the serpent and think above that. We got in this mess somehow, and it wasn't always one side running the show. Somehow, both sides seem to push us ever closer towards the cliff like a bunch of trusting little lemurs waiting to hop off the edge. But sooner or later, somebody's got to go, oh, this is a bad idea. We should probably pull back on this one a little. I don't know. And April says, also, watch my back and others. Right on. Biden, Trump, don't matter. We are screwed either way, in my opinion. Hey, Jock, you might be right about that. You might very well be right. Jake, I had a baby girl almost 6 months ago. LOL, Justice Summer Rose. Oh, that's beautiful. And I had no idea. Nobody told me. I wish you to come on and let me know. Congratulations. God bless you. And give that baby a kiss for me. That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Lisa Reen says, ditto, April. Amen. April says, wake up, y'all. It's coming. Must start now. Get ready. Much love and may God bless us all. Correct. It is coming. I don't know how fast it's coming, but it's coming. You can believe that. And by it, I mean the end. The distribution of wealth is in need of an overhaul. Really? Says who? People that don't have any of it? I would agree. Yeah, but problem is there were systems put in place so that people could earn money or gain money, and they did. And then that money went to where it goes because those people have the power, the intelligence, the knowledge, the wherewithal, mostly because they were born into money to start with, but other reasons too. And then it whittles its way right on up to the top. It's not the distribution of wealth that's the problem. It's the usage of wealth that's the problem. You know, we've got all of these laws that say you can put your money in a Swiss bank account and not draw any interest off of it and keep it over there and be tax free and all of that good stuff. There's all kinds of laws. Trump pointed this out in the last election. If you don't want me using the laws to get away with tax breaks, change the laws. I'm only doing it because I'm allowed to. And by the way, you and all your friends do it too. You enjoy the same benefits. He was correct in saying that. It's not the fact that he does that. It's the fact that he's allowed to. That's the law. So if you want to change the law, first of all, taxation has never been legal. It was supposed to help out with the war effort when that was occurring. It's supposed to be temporary. The fact that we're still being taxed ought to tell you something. Second of all, it's too much, and they keep adding on. Third of all, the upper echelon people with all of the big money, they don't keep the money in circulation, which means the economy can't grow from that money. That means you don't have an opportunity to make any of it. So you are working at a job that's designed to keep you working at that job, gives you just enough to keep you going to the next day, but you're not ever going to get ahead. But that's true with all jobs because you're an employee. You're there to make him money. He's making the money. Well, if you want that money, then you need to start a business and be an entrepreneur, which is increasingly harder and harder to do because of red tape and because of, you know, all of the bureaucracy and all of that nonsense and rules that are applied until you can't hardly do anything without spending all your money before you even get started. Well, they need to lift some of those. That's another thing Donald Trump got right. Lifting a bunch of the red tape so that entrepreneurs had a better chance of starting a business. This is not, the American dream is no longer a thing. Our children are not going to grow up and by the age of 25 own their own home and a bass boat by 30. That's not going to happen. You know, the white picket fence on the hill, that idea is over for now. It could come back if we restructure the way money is used, not who has it. Because rich people deserve to be rich. They did something to get it. You want to be rich, you should have an opportunity to go get rich. If you have the wherewithal and the ability, the meritocracy of everything. Sadly enough, Marxism and communism and socialism do not allow for this. Equal opportunity is not the same thing as equal outcome. Equal outcome means nobody has incentive to do anything. And that's exactly what they'll end up doing. Nothing. Simple. Not to mention the fact that those systems of government always, and I do mean always, end in starvation and genocide. Trust me on that one. Not that what we have is the best by far. I don't know if it's the best in the world. I don't know if it's the best way to do it. I'm sure it could be overhauled and done better. But it's the best system in existence. I defy you to go anywhere else and do better. You won't. Think French Revolution, says Fab Daddy. Well, how's that working out for the French? Do you even know what's going on in France right now? I bet you don't. April says, that's a beautiful name, AJOT. I love it. I do too. Agreed, says April. AJOT says, April, she's getting big, rolling over, almost sitting by herself and trying to crawl. Oh, man. Enjoy that if you hadn't had kids before, because it don't get any better than that. Trust me, that's the best time. And AJOT says, well, if we would stop fighting other people's wars, amen, and work on our own, this might help. I agree 100%. This idea that we have to be the world's police, which is another thing Donald Trump got right, by the way. He didn't start any new wars, and he tried to shut the country down and focus on the country. That's what MAGA means, make America great again. It's also better said, America first. That's the better way to say that. Well, if we did that, if we focused on what was wrong here, if we took all this excess money that we seem to have all of a sudden in the tune of trillions of dollars and put it into our problems and made this country the shining city on the hill that Reagan talked about, Camelot, as it were, then we'd be in a position to be a world leader. We're not in that position currently, which is why everybody hates it that we're trying to lead the world, because we don't even know how to fix our problems. How are we going to fix theirs? We're just pushing out for the sake of pushing out, and we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be in wars unless somebody's attacking us. There's no reason to be in another country right now because nobody is currently attacking us. When they do, then we should go to war and stomp their tail, period. There's no other reason to go to war. We got plenty of resources right here in this country. We got plenty of power right here in this country. We don't need to be global. So all those people at the WEF that are talking all the things they're talking, none of that's necessary. We've been a world power for many, many generations because we are. It's the best place in the world. It's strategically the best place in the world. So why are we playing these global games? It's not good for anybody. And I agree with you there, AJ. Kevin says, it is hot here. After court, I got in my car and looked over to see a squirrel in a lazy chair. He had an umbrella on his head and had used copper tone on his nuts. It does prevent sunburn and shrinkage. Kevin, what an astute observation, my friend. April says, yes, amen. Oh, that is sweet. I miss my babies being little. I love that. Me too. I miss babies. I love babies. I am a baby's man. I like babies. It's weird for a dude to say, I know, but I like them. I raised mine, so, you know. Amanda says, LOL, Kevin. CWL says, a single Filet-O-Fish sandwich is $9. Ridiculous. Around here, a hamburger and fries is $13. One hamburger, one fry, $13. Think about that. That's nonsense. That thing ain't worth 99 cents. Night Widower. Go es bueno. That'll be enough of that language, mister. Geez, Kevin, you and your squirrel nut jokes. LMAO, says April. Amanda says, hi, Night, welcome. And welcome, Night Widower. But we speak English. I have no idea what you said. April says, of course, Night Widower, welcome. Hello. AJ says, united we stand. Under Biden we fall. Oh, sorry. Conspiracy yummy. Crisp. What the hell does that say? Crisps are yummy. I got it. You must be British. America. Thank you. Absolutely agree, says April. April says, CWL, I know. It's so expensive to eat out and go buy food. See you later, food. It was a yes, laws must change. Laws and habits must change. And we are so divorced from reality in this current civilization that we live in. And we have spent so much time being inundated with technology and things that make our lives easier and more convenient and so and so. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't know where your food comes from, if you think your food comes from the supermarket, you are in trouble. And you should recognize that immediately, because the food does not come from the supermarket. That's just a place where it's stored until you pick it up. You need to understand where your food comes from. You need to understand how to find water that you can drink. You need to know what the difference between healthy berries and poison berries are. You need to know how to build a fire out of sticks. Things that are simple, everyday pieces of knowledge that you've forgotten, you need to remember. Because if we have an EMP attack, or if an asteroid hits the Earth, or, solar flare, in 3 days, we're back in the Stone Ages. It'll take about 3 days for all of the stores in your area to be completely empty. That's no more food. It'll take about a day for your water to stop running out of your faucet, because when the power goes down, the water doesn't come, because they made you get city water because you don't have a pump anymore. So you need to understand where water goes, how it travels underground, where is the most likely place to find it. And you need to practice these things. Just a cursory education is all you need. I'm not saying become a prepper. I'm saying educate yourself as to how things are done. Learn how to skin a deer. That's a good start. Go hunting. Learn how to shoot a rifle. Get one. Have it in your closet. Do it now while you can, because sooner or later you won't be able to. Learn how to prepare food so that you don't starve to death. Even if you have to shoot the neighborhood dogs to survive, know how to skin one and clean it and make it healthy, and how to preserve it without a refrigerator. That's a good thing to know. Learn how to make jerky. All of these ideas, learn how to sew, learn how to, divine water. There are ways to survive that have happened for thousands of years. This 200-year period that we call the United States of America is a new thing in which we are vastly unprepared to live in the rest of the world. So trust me, take your time and learn something. CWS says it cost me $100 a week just for groceries. Damn near cost me that too, buddy. April says, Crispy, welcome. Amanda says, grocery prices are ridiculous and it's going to get worse before it gets better. I agree. Fat Daddy says, I used copper tone on my grapes, but they still turned into raisins. Blah. That sounds like a problem there, Fat Daddy. Amanda says, hi, Crisp. Ajot says, as long as I continue to let go, let God, he continues to show me the way. Very true. You do have to trust in God. And I agree with you there. But God gave you a brain, and he gave you a memory so that you can learn things and use them to your advantage. And you can let go and let God right till you starve to death too. So don't do that. Do let go and let God. Absolutely. Let him guide you. But be ready to work, because he'll guide you to places where you have to do some work. Just usually works that way. CWL says, everyone I know is just trying to survive. Right, CWL? And we all need to band together into communities just like this so that we have a group of support when the world gets harder to survive in. We all need a community. That's why we're doing this. So I'm glad you're here. April says, I'm scared for our grandchildren, etc. Me too. 100%, says Ajot to April. Amen, Ajot, says April. Outer Territory says, a loaf of bread at the Mercantile was $5.99. $5.99. Not a typo. I know. That's crazy. Honestly, that was due to a vendor problem that's being worked out, and someone had to go to another county or something to get what they had. But it's a chilling preview. Yes, and it's going to get like that. It will. I've seen milk go up to $5, $6. So yeah. LMAO says April. Outer Territory says Kevin Cox. I did see a chipmunk with breasts in Glacier Park. Ran right up to get some Pop-Tarts. And I think she was used to treats right next to the trail and must have had babies. CWL says a 2-liter of Diet Dr. Pepper is almost $3. I got to figure out how to start making it myself. Well, you could drink some more water. That'd be good for you. But mineral water, not distilled water, not sterile bottled water. Get some real water that has stuff in it that's good for you and drink that. Supplement every other 2-liter with some water. Do that. That'll help you out. Kevin says, hey, AJOT, I agree with Jake. Enjoy them while they are young. Yes, them babies. It's the best thing in the world to see the smile on a baby's face, the trust that they look at you with, the love, the need that they have for you, and you them. Man, there's nothing better in this world. A baby's crying at night. People always used to think, because I'm kind of impatient and quick to be annoyed, it never bothered me when my babies cried. They're like, they don't bother you? Not at all. Because babies are crying for a reason. If you understand what that reason is, you can fix it. And then they don't cry anymore. Kevin says, hey, Outer. AJOT says, hi, Kevin Cox. Good to see ya. LOL, you missed my comment before the let go, let God one. I guess I did. I'll go back and look. That's why I said what I said. No worries. Let me go back and look. Sorry, sometimes the chat moves pretty fast. United we stand. Yes. As long as I continue to let go and let God, he continues to show me the way. Yes. April says, hey, Jot, I agree. Let's all stay close. We're going to need each other for sure. Amen to that. And that's the reason this platform exists, and we should use it to its fullest advantage. I think everybody in this chat that has known each other for any length of time should exchange phone numbers and email addresses so that if you have a problem or if you're in an area or if you need someone to reach out to, you have that something. And every single one of us need to be part of that. Mine is UntetheredLiveStream@gmail.com. You can email me and I'll send you my phone number from there. You can call me 24/7, and if it's within my power, I'll do it if it helps you. Our Territory says, I feel that God put me on this farm for a reason. I suspect it's to get it operating for others, not myself. I suspect you're probably right there. And it may come to a position in this world where you are the guy we get food from. And if you're ready for that, if you're prepared for that, then you have done what God set you there to do. Amen, says April. That being said, you need to take care of you too, because if you can't survive, nobody else can survive because of you. So make sure you're taken care of. And that means anything that we can do to help you, if we can, we will. Is this a wonderful thing to have a place to get some groceries if the world's gone to hell in a handbasket? It's nice to know where a farm is. It's also nice to know how to build a fire with sticks. It's nice to know how to mend clothing with thread. It's nice to know how to kill an animal, you know. It's nice to know how to make power, hydropower. I'm still eating corn and squash from last year's crop, says Outer Territories. And hey, everybody, perhaps a sanctuary here, if it gets bad enough to be forced to run that far, it could support a lot of people. Well, that's fantastic. Well, hopefully by then we have built out to where more people in that area are watching the show. We're working on it, little bits at a time. April says, yeah, we need to start digging. Maybe. What are we digging for? Outer Territory says, nice to have windmills. 3/4 ton of high-grade coal in the shed with a coal and wood stove. Well, that's fantastic. You ought to be able to stay plenty warm with that. Are those windmills operational? Can you make power with them? Because if you can, you could actually supplement your power grid. You might get them to put one of those ratchet globes in, so every bit of power you make, they take off of your bill, make your bill lower anyway. And if you can make enough power, they'll even pay you for it. It won't be what you pay them for it, but it'll be something. Might could like offset your phone bill or something with that. It's pretty interesting. And if they're not operational and you need some advice on how to make them operational, that is what my degree is in, electronics technology, so I can help you with that if you need it, unless you already know. And if you know, you know. And now for today's conspiracy theory. I'm going to start a new segment where each show I'll introduce a new conspiracy to enlighten you about things you were unaware of. So here's one for you. Pay attention. You know your toothpaste. Have you ever noticed that there's a little block in the center at the bottom where it rolls up? There's a little block there, and it's usually a color, like green or black or white or blue or yellow. But that's a code, and each one of those colors means a certain thing. I implore you to do a Google search and find out what that little block means, and then start buying your toothpaste accordingly to what's in it. But just so you know that there is a code that you didn't know was there, that they put there so that they can recognize what's in the toothpaste. So do a little Google search and find out what those blocks mean, that little block on your toothpaste. It's usually like green or black. Check it out. You might be surprised to find out what you're putting in your mouth 2 or 3 times a day, if you're doing it right. Outer Territory says, I took the rotor off one 1920s aeromotor and winced it into the front of the barn so it looks like a propeller. The landlady just shook her head, but no objecting. Well, you know, are you pretending to fly your barn like Snoopy? Because that would be weird. Having a propeller that could be operational and make power for you is not so weird. Chungus Viscaca. My family does the old technology. We work by hand, and we only have 2 windmills, and we have 4 silos, 16 chicken pens, 2 cows, 5 horses in the stables, and a partridge in a pear tree. And we used to have 3 water tanks, but since we got more animals, we got 5 water tanks. Well, Chungus Viscaca, that is fantastic. That's the way you should live if you can. Not everybody can. Some of us only live on a 1/4 acre, but you can make that 1/4 acre produce plenty for you. Here's the thing you should ask yourself. Is the land that I live on providing anything for me other than shelter? Because it can. That land can provide your food. It can provide your power. It can provide your safety. You should be making sure that your property is providing something for your family. And if it's not, you're not living on it right. You're wasting potential. So get to moving. Get up an hour earlier and go plant something or whatever it is you got to do. Make your property produce for you. It's free. It's yours. And you get to reap the benefits from it and maybe help a neighbor, which is even better. And Chungus, welcome to the show. Yikes, says April. Amanda says, hi, Chung, welcome. Outer Territory says, you missed the answer on the windmills. Plenty around, plenty of parts. Okay. So you're saying they don't work, but they could work because you got enough stuff to make them work. Okay. I'm sorry if I missed one. Noelia Tapia. Noelia Tapia. Holla. Ah! Outer Territory says those windmills are spread over many square miles. Good job, Chungus Viscaca. I once had 5 hens and more eggs than I could eat or give away. Yes, that's fantastic. If you got enough room to have a chicken coop, get you 3 or 4 hens and a rooster, and you'll have breakfast every day for a long time. As long as you, once a month, buy you a little bag of laying mash and give it to a handful of them in their feed, you'll have eggs. It's a wonderful thing to have, by the way. And you can feed your neighbors. You can't give away enough of them sometimes. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful problem to have, that you can't give away enough food. Think about that. If only you could have something that could, grow bacon. That'd be fantastic. Hi, Noelia, says Amanda. Outer Territory says, Chungus, here's your channel. All right. You guys are awesome. Are you guys having a good time? Is the conversation tickling your fancy? I know, Aaliyah. Welcome, Chungus. Welcome, says April. Will you please do me a favor while you're considering and pondering the things we talk about? Hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when my new videos drop and when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button. It's right in front of you. It's effortless. It's free, and it really does help the channel with the algorithms, helps us get recommended to other people, and we need that, so we appreciate it. Share this video with people you love. Why not share it with somebody you don't love? Bring a stranger into the family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of the solutions, not part of the problems. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid. As long as you're thinking critical, that's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you dig what I'm doing and you can see the value in what I'm trying to build here, and you like to help do that, you like to be part of something special, you can support my work by going to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand, paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Or if you're a Cash App user, you can go to $JakeJohnsonBand, $JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing to me, but it's a blessing to you too, because we live in a reciprocal universe. God tends to notice these things. So I appreciate that. And I will always do everything in my power to be worthy of that support by answering all your questions and comments, criticisms, and catharses right here. Now, back to the program. Outer Territory says, I got hens to wake up. I got those hens to wake up my arms held level to get treats from my shoulders. Good birds. High mortality, though. And they'd last about a day here with all the predators and big raptors. Oof. Well, you'd have to put them in a pen, keep them covered. But yeah, if there's a lot of raptors, you let them running around in the yard, they're probably going to get picked off. Or you could teach your chickens to shoot. That might be good. Wow. I got one, boss. April says, yes. Outer Territory says, well, short of a chicken bunker, coyotes and other things will dig under a fence, etc. The hassle would be too much. I understand that. I do. And that's not a good place to... I suppose you could electrify your yard, fence in your yard, but they'll just honeypot you. Coyotes will definitely honeypot another animal. I've seen them do it. They will trick them into doing something stupid, and they get over that fence, and then they're food. But yeah, I mean, there's a way to do it. I just don't know about that area. I don't know anything about that type of environment. Here, it's not that bad. We got some hawks, but that's about it. Usually, if a chicken's big enough, the hawk won't mess with it. So, You just have to watch out for the babies. But I understand where you're coming from. Here, I'm more worried about an alligator getting one of my chickens than a hawk. And we don't even have alligators that bad in North Carolina. That's a Florida thing. It would attract the mountain lions too, and their prime habitat within too short a walk, and plenty known to be here. Yeah, those mountain lions ain't fun. I get that. The bad thing about a mountain lion is you never see them, but they're there. Believe that they're there, but you don't ever see them hardly. Now, places like LA, they're probably a little more visible, but out in the wild, you ain't seeing one. He'll be looking at you, but you won't be seeing him. The Easy property is the west border of the Custer Gallatin National Forest, so nothing in that direction but habitat, and they don't care about borders. One reason for the trail cam. Yeah. Yeah, they care about territory, but they don't care about borders. I think they draw their own lines, though. They don't go beyond where they go. So they do care about borders, just not ours. I'm surprised and shocked at all the insanity I just happened to see, meaning I miss 80% of what must be happening. Maybe I don't want to know, but knowledge is power, and I may need a bigger gun. You're right? Yes, knowledge is power, and let me know if you catch Bigfoot on that camera, because I want to see it. Me and about 90% of the rest of the world. Or at least anybody that has cable. All right. It's inching ever closer to that time. Anything else you guys would like to discuss? Anything you'd like to know about? Anything you want to tell me about? Stuff that I need to know? Because I'm open to suggestions too. I'm excited about the prairie dogs sitting right now in the middle of the colony. You are, or the camera is? If you're sitting in the middle of the colony, they're probably hiding from you. Me too, says April. But I'd like to see the prairie dogs. Those are cute. I wonder if they really do that thing that they do on that cartoon, you know, where they look around all the time. Work, look, you know. There's a song, but I can't seem to remember it. Yep. Don't let me overwhelm things because I will. Go for it. Oh, when I place it. There were dozens. Yes. Looking around at burrows with alarm calls. Man, that's cool. You ain't overwhelming nothing, buddy. I like talking to you. It may come as a shock to you, but I consider you a friend. April says, already, how time flies when you're having fun. I know, right? We just got here and already it's time to leave. That's all right, though. I'll be back Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on Untethered Live for some serious stuff. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise anyway. Researchers want the data as the PD population has been decimated by disease. That's removed down by 10%. Only 2 species, but one is rare. So some modest interest to the results. The Forest Service requested any footage. That's quite interesting. You might have you a second job there. You might could turn that into a lucrative thing, just getting footage of wild animals. Some people like the Discovery Channel pay big money for that sometimes. Check into it. You might like it. Fab Daddy says, have a great weekend, everyone. Much love. Fab Daddy, I love you too, buddy. Amanda says, you too, Fab. Our territory says, sorry, the other species is not rare nationally, but limited range in Montana. Black and white-tailed. The blacks are most numerous. You're preaching to the choir, buddy. It's that way everywhere. See what I did there? That's pretty funny. Now, you too, Fat Daddy says, outer territories. So what you need to do is just put some railroad tracks up there, and then you'll figure out where they're at. I'm sorry, that was racist. I shouldn't have said that. But it was funny. I thought about a gag, but I knew you would go there, Jake. I know, right? I'm so predictable. Never miss an opportunity to make a jackass out of myself for your entertainment. It's a good thing I don't mean half of what I say. You knew I couldn't resist that, though. You set them up, I'll knock them down. April says, much love, everybody. May God bless and sweetest dreams. See you Sunday at 8. Dana, how are you? Greetings. Even though I know I am late, it is close to 4 a.m. here. Well, thank you for being here at all, Dana. I appreciate you. How are you doing, love? How are things in your part of the world? Hope things are a lot better faring for you than they are for us. I swear I paused about writing they were in the majority because of racist BS, says Outer Territories. Right? April says, Amanda says, night, April, and hi, Dana. And April says, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and support your local Jake Johnson, who's working hard for your entertainment. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, love. Dana says, Amanda, heart, heart, heart. We just shooting the breeze, nothing serious. Those little dudes. Can you please say hi to Nathan and Elsie? Love your videos. Nathan and Elsie, hello, how are you? Welcome to the show, and thank you for being here, and I love you watching my videos. That's fantastic. We got something in common right off the bat. Dana says, April Rain, heart, 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 heart. Hi, those little dudes, says Amanda. And April says, night, everyone. Hey, Dana, much love, Hannah, and love you, girl, Jake. You're the best. Fab Daddy, MVTV, AJOT, Lisa, CWL, love you all, true. April, we love you dearly, and thank you. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you. I appreciate you. That's going right where it needs to go. Outer Territory says, at least it's a sit-down job, but what an ... effort to be in the center ring of this. Yeah, it's like being behind enemy lines, ain't it? You could gator crawl and pretend like you're in Vietnam. Those little dudes says, thank you, 4 hearts. Amanda says, I love you too, April. Outer Territory says, those little dudes, this is your channel. April says, and Kevin, much love to you too. And yo, little dudes, good to see you. Much love to Jake and all of you here, says Dana. Dana, much love back to you. Again, I hope things are doing better in your place than they are in ours. Outer Territory says, little dudes indeed, cuties. April says, my pleasure. Love you so much, and I love you so much. You are the wind beneath my wings. Or something. And be sure to stock up on these. I can't live without them. April says, heart, Dana. So once you've Google searched the little block on your toothpaste and you found out what's in the toothpaste and what those little blocks mean, report back to me and let me know what you think. Nothing is getting better anywhere these days, says Dana. I know. It's getting rough around here, too. We got a possible civil war situation going on in our southern border. It's possible. I don't know that it's happening, but it's possible. CWO says, my phone was acting up. I'm back. Welcome back. Did you correct it? April says, welcome newcomers. Come back Sunday for Bible study at 8 p.m. You'll love it, MBTV. Thanks for putting our links, man. April, appreciate the invite. And please do come back Sunday, 8 p.m. right here. And Monday at 8:30 right here for the Bible study portion of this show. It is quite fascinating. You'll love it. Amanda says, welcome back, CWL. Outer Territory says, I plan on continuing my conditioning with that one heifer herd. So when I need a steak, I can call them in from the range with a boombox. They really got to like music. That's fantastic. Just lure them right in and get you a steak. Now I'm hungry. Thanks. April says, mwah, mwah, back at you. I'm going to get to that, Ugh, says April. You're going to get to that? Huh? What? CW says, I don't know, but it would take charge. It wouldn't take charge, but now it is. Maybe your battery's getting dead. How cold is it where you are? Because, batteries don't do well in the cold. I don't know. I'm on the inspection, says April. Are you? What are you inspecting? Outer Territory says, instead of running away from me, one mob began walking over to the house to stand around, stare, and listen to whatever I'm blasting out of the window. Well, that's fantastic. You got rock and roll cattle. That's pretty cool. Dana says, oh, I saved a cow this morning, by the way. Little baby cow was under a tree, separated from its mommy, and I saved it and I got it back to its herd. I called the herd over like a real cowboy, and they all came running up to me and was looking at me like, what, dude? Where's my kid? And I said, look, I got your kid right here. And she said, well, there's a fence between me and you. How am I supposed to feed my youngin'? And I said, don't worry, Mama, I got this. And I got the cow between the fence and back to its mama. And they all said, thank you very much, and gave me a little milk, and then they left. And that was my morning this morning. What did you do? Dana says, I will set up my alarm clock and try to be here with you all on Sunday. I hope so. But I don't want you to be up so late. Now, I understand that sucks. But if you can be here, I'd appreciate that. It's at 8 o'clock, so that's what? 3 o'clock your time, something like that? 2 o'clock? That's rough. I'm sorry about that. I didn't make time zones, though. CWL, much love, says April. Outer Territory says, and those are the mama heifers that stay around permanently without taking the Burger Express. Well, that's because they can make more burgers. CWL says, I'll try to get a few new chargers this weekend. You have a big heart, Jake. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Good for you, hop along. Don't call me Cassidy. The small ones are small. Well, I didn't pick up a Brahma bull, no. It was a baby. But it was trapped and it was helpless and it looked scared, so I jumped in and saved it. So that's what you do when you're a cowboy. Got the Marlboro Man mustache and everything. Danny says 2:00 a.m. I will not stay late. I will get up early. I hear you. That's terrible. I'm sorry for it being so late. I wish I could make that better. Well, I guess I can, because you can watch the videos at any time. You just can't talk to me directly, but I do appreciate you watching one way or the other. CWL says, once a bovine has a calf, it's no longer a heifer. It becomes a cow. Amanda says, my cowboy. Dana says, read that one. Oh, here we go. Outer Territory says, I saved a portion of my cheesecake for Neo the pack rat. He really likes it. Will sit there and munch down instead of taking it inside his midden like everything else. Well, that's good. You're making friends. That's progress. Toothpaste, says April. Yes. Check out the blocks at the bottom of your toothpaste and what they mean. Just do a Google search. You'll find the code and you'll be surprised. Some of them have medication in them. Some of them have chemicals in them. Some of them are all natural. All of them are bad for you. It'll be okay, says CWO. Yes, it will. Outer says, oh, it does, CWL. I knew that. Sigh, thanks. For the record, I still make sure to switch out the cowboy hat for the ball cap when passing Buckshot's Ranch. That kind of mistake could get me tagged as an alien. I love it. April says, Lamau. Yeah, you can't be screwing around when you're on a ranch. You got to wear the hat when it's appropriate. I didn't have a cowboy hat today, but I did do cowboy shit, so I'm in there. I'm in like Flynn. Of course, I also raked up a bunch of leaves and got this very nice blister and this very nice blister. Because I'm a man, baby. April says, I was the one that believed chocolate milk came from brown cows. Remember? They called me Elsie. Oh, my God. I just can't believe I said that. Well, that was partially my fault. I'm the one that convinced you of that, so I apologize. But, man, that was funny. Outer says, doubtful, CWL. If I made that mistake at the saloon, I can imagine all the conversation instantly stops. The jukebox skips and everyone turns to stare. What did you say about a heifer, boy? Dana says, all smiles. Amanda says, rolling on the floor, laughing. April, I so remember that. Jake had your ass good. Well, you remember me telling you about it. We were like 12 when that happened. It's like a guy who bought a steer and was wondering why his cows weren't having calves. Interesting. CWL. Why? Do tell. April says, LOL, I know I'm so gullible. Yeah, but that's what makes you so sweet. It's sweet. It's endearing to know that you can be convinced of things so easily. But you're also a very deep thinker, and I appreciate that about you. Steers don't have nuts. I know that. Amanda says she still believes it in her late teens, though. She still believed it in her late teens, though. 12 is teen. But yeah, somewhere in that area. That did happen. And it was mean of me to pull that trick, but hilarious nonetheless. That's all right, though. She got me good, too. I have the scars to prove it. Yes, CWL, I have been to Texas. I'm aware of what a steer is. Every time I see a brown cow, I think about April, says Amanda. Oh. Well, we got some red heifers over here, and we got some longhorns, and we got some Brahmas, and a couple of others that I don't know the names of. April says, yep, I believed everything. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. So where does strawberry milk come from? And how do you milk strawberry, by the way? April says, you and Mark the cowboy I dated, y'all had me going. Yeah. Amanda says, it's all good, April. We still love you, and you should have totally been a blonde. When you were 16, you might have been. It was back there in those days, is what I'm saying. That's not that far from 12. Outer Territory says, I post to a naturalist site that needs community agreement as to species. Out of 24 or so postings, I was wrong on 8. Well, get it right, man. Know what you're talking about. You'll do fine. My mind is still blown by the concept of almond milk, says CWL, right? Yeah, it's not even milk. Almonds don't have milk. I don't know what that is, but it ain't milk. And I wouldn't drink it if I were you. Because linseed oil is bad for you. It will kill you. Of any kind. That includes from almonds. Although we seem to be having an epidemic of it in this country today. Using oils from various places. I know that it's gross, says CWL. I can imagine. I've never had it. I don't want any of it. Outer Territory says, I couldn't figure out why they didn't make autos like my Hot Wheels that could be tossed the equivalent of a 10 miles through the air, bounce on the ground, and have no damage. I did not understand it. Where does almond milk come from? From goats? No, it's not milk. It's oil. It's milk-like. That's goat milk, says Amanda. Almonds don't have milk, right? Milk comes from cows and goats and kittens, but it doesn't taste as good. It's made in a laboratory, says Dana. Yes. It's made out of almond oil. They compress the almond and get some kind of oil out of it, and they add a few other things to it. Poof, almond milk. It's not good for you. Don't drink that mess. Stay away from soy. Stay away from yogurt and ice cream that has estrogen in it. And stay away from almond milk. That'll make your nuts fall off. You don't want none of that, boys. And don't drink your spice soy lattes. Drink coffee like a real man. You can handle it. It's gross as ... CWL. April says, OMG. Yes, I burned him with my curling iron when I was 11. I'm sorry, Jake. It's okay. I probably had it coming. It was very hot. I still have the scar, but it's okay. I forgave you a long time ago. From the Hershey's strawberry mix, says April. Yes. And I am a blonde. You're a strawberry blonde. Dana says, and soy, stay away from it too. Yes, don't drink the soy. It'll make you think you fall up. Shrivel off. Jake was once a child, says Outer Territories. Never. I was born an old man and just got bigger. Yep. Like strawberry wine, 17, hot July moon, saw everything. First taste of love, whoa, bittersweet, green on the vine, like strawberry wine. I drink water, milk, and diet Dr. Pepper, and I'll every so often eat a gummy. You dirty old man, you. Gummies kind of like it when you do that, though. It's freaky. April says, I don't know. I'm not drinking that crap. I don't blame you. Priceless humor, Jake. Thank you, Dana. I was born an asshole, and I've been one all the days of my life. That's actually a song. I just don't know it. What do you guys want to hear? It's time for me to go to bed. I can play a song, though, real quick. My gummies are for glaucoma. I got you. I'm with you. I hear you, dog. Dana says, smiley, smiley, smiley. Outer Territory says, and powdered milk is not the same. Seriously, Mom. Same with margarine and generic frosted flakes. Yeah, those aren't real. Don't eat that garbage. And margarine is not butter. I can't believe it's not butter. Well, you'd be right, sir. It's not butter. That's not butter. Stop eating that. That's why everybody's fat. Stop it. And this doesn't have sugar in it. And I wish they would fix that because I miss cane sugar. That has high fructose corn syrup in it, which is a derivative of bad stuff. You don't want to drink that. It'll make you sick. It'll make you look like this. Tell Kevin that then, says April. I'm telling everybody. Shouting it from the rooftops. Are you listening? Do you hear me? Do you hear what I hear? People say I'm no good, crazy as a loon. I get stoned in the morning and pop gummies in the afternoon. Kinda like an old blue tick hound, I like to lay around in the shade. I ain't got no money, but I still know how to get laid. And I ain't asking nobody for nothing. What'd he say? I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, Lord, you just leave this long hair country boy alone. Preacher man talking on YouTube, putting down rock and roll. Wants you to send a donation, cause he's worried about your soul. He said Jesus walked on water, and I believe that's true. Sometimes I think that preacher man ought to do a little walking too, cause I ain't asking nobody for nothing. I can't get it on my own. Yeah. If you don't like the way I'm living, you just leave this long hair country boy alone. Rich girl loves to marry, yeah. and a poor boy drives a truck. Rich boy learns to rock and roll, and a poor girl learns to marry young so that she can be taken care of on into her life. Drunkard wants another drink of wine, and a politician wants to vote. I don't want much of none at all, but if you shout it out, I'll take a toke. I ain't asking nobody for nothing. I can't get it on my own. You don't like the way I'm living. You just leave this long-haired country boy alone. You don't like the way I'm living, Lord. You just leave this long-haired country boy alone. All right. That's the jam for tonight. I've had a great time tonight. I hope you have too. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I do. I can't wait until we're doing this Sunday like we do. I'll be there if you will be. Let me get up here and see if I missed anything before I sign off. MBTV, LOL, yep, says April. Outer Territory says, I recall buying some actual butter once. I left home and began buying groceries for myself and was stunned. Lots of brothers and sisters, so no foul. But I still recall her insistence. It was all the same. It is not all the same. No, it is not. You are correct. Amanda says, do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? I do not. This is the internet. You hear the words that are coming out of mine, though. CWL says, right on. April says, smiley face, prayers, say it loudly, sing, guitar, heart, with a star. Gummy what? Gummy what? Yes. Aha. Sing whatever you want, love. Sing whatever you want. I love it. I got you. Dana says, corn, heart, or whatever that is. It looks like corn. April says, anything powdered. Ugh, gross. Not anything. There are some powdered things that are quite tasty. It's worse, says April. So don't drink almond milk. Correct. Don't drink almond milk. Don't drink soy milk. Don't drink anything with high fructose corn syrup in it. Stay away from estrogen. And you'll be right as rain if you can do that. April says, night all. See you Sunday night. Dana says, much love and good night to y'all. Thank you, Dana. Good night to you too, sweetie. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you Sunday. And if not, no, we'll be thinking about you. Much love, everyone, says April. Amanda says, my point, goofball, LOL. Ha, ha, ha. Dana says, I am ahead of you in time. I am your future. Mind blown. Huzzah! Drink some moonshine. You can. I have. White lightning. It's good for you. Put hair on your chest. Huzzah! Walter Davis. Good evening, all. Hey, Walter, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. How are things? Guess I'm late. Yeah, I'm just about to sign off, but I'll stick around for a little while. I heard about a powder that comes from the mountains of Peru, CWL says. I don't know if Peru has mountains. It's in South America, but yeah, that powder's good. Other powders too. I really hate that stuff, but I love the way it smells. Walter, how you doing, buddy? How are things? Are you here yet? April says, hi, huzzah, welcome. Amanda says that. Amanda also says, hi, Walter. And CWL says, yeah, me too. I hear you, brother. A miserable week I did have. I'm sorry, buddy. How are things? What's going on with you? What happened? Who pissed in your cornflakes? I had a hard week too. Working outside all week. Like a real man. What happened to you this week? Yeah, I still got a minute or two. It's 10:20. I'll go to 10:30. Because I love you guys. I wanted to talk to you anyway. Tell me all about it. Stand up. Testify. Stand up. Have you ever been there? Stand up. Identify. Thank you for the hearts. Hi, Jake, Amanda, CWL, Dana, Montana, April, and everyone else. Huzzah! Says Walter. CWL says, I earned myself a couple of blisters. Does this mean that I have syphilis? Well, you must. I do. See? Syphilis. Bad weather, short work week. That's rough, Walter. Well, you should come on down here and hang out with me then. Outer Territory says, evening, Walter Davis. Dana says, hi, Walter Davis. It's finally Friday once again. I only worked 3 days in the last 3 weeks, says CWL. That's terrible. I had a week like that not too long ago. Can't be doing that. Got to make that money. The bills don't stop coming due. And I need all the help I can get. The weather here has been most uncooperative, says CWL. That's not good. It's just been freezing cold here, and then all of a sudden, yesterday and today has been hot. It'll probably be freezing cold tomorrow, but right now I got my air conditioner on, and that's amazing. Take that, global warming. Outer Territory says, after historic record lows the week before last, we're getting historic highs, 60s next week, and that's nice for the end of January. January's always bitter. Lord, this one beats all. The wind ain't quit for weeks now, and the drifts are 10 feet tall. I've been all night driving heifers closer into lower ground. I spent the whole morning thinking about the ones the wolves pulled down. Garth Brooks. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, says CWL. It's supposed to be near 70 this upcoming week. It's probably 70 degrees right now here. I hadn't looked, but it's hot enough I got my AC on. I was sweating when I turned it on, so, weird weather, because it was freezing like below 32 degrees day before yesterday. I think it got down to like 18 degrees at one point. And now it's just hot, inexplicably. Teens and 20s would be average, says Outer Territories, right? It's 69 in Florida right now. Nice. Jake is 65. I am not. 49. CWL says, I had to put out some more hay, and I had to take my hoodie off because I was sweating. Walter says, I work every day on something, but weekends, watching kids. If not at work, I'm working on the farm. Walter, you are a man. You always doing something. Outer said it was 50 a few days ago. So math-wise, that's a 97-degree variation. Amazing the animals survive. Yeah. But, if global warming causes us to raise in temperature by 10 degrees, it's going to be catastrophic. The oceans are to swallow up the lands, and volcanoes will erupt, and all the fish will die, and everybody will be dead in 12 years. Don't you know? You need to send me some money right now so we can fix that. Meanwhile, I'm going to live over here on my beachfront property. 10 degrees. It changes 10 degrees during the week. Whatever. Rats not included. He's got a house in the barn, says the Outer Territories. Dana says, Walter Davis. Walter says, my sister kicked her husband out for good reasons. So I helped her today with the horse stables. Take care of that family, Walter. It's a good man. James, just a kid, says Walter Davis. That must be the husband. Is that what you're saying? I don't know who James is. CWL says, I can solve a lot of issues. All I need is money. Me too. I ain't even trying to solve any issues. I'm just trying to eat, Keep the lights on. But if I had lots of money, I'd probably just give it away. So I understand. That's why it wouldn't do for me to be a millionaire. Because if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't be a millionaire very long. Because I'd give it away. Too many people need things for me to be rich. Dana says, I am very lucky. I got very good job. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, Dana. Congratulations on that. The oceans will lower if we go into an ice age. Yes, they will. Benjamin Asek, stop smoking. I am no quitter, sir. My mama didn't raise no quitter. You start smoking. How about that? Your fresh air is offending me. Always give the glory to the Lord, says Dana. Amen, sister. I believe that. Amanda says, hi, Benjamin. Welcome. Walter says, hi, Benjamin. Stop. No. Look away. Avert your little weak eyes. You 49? Me? Yes. STP, says Benjamin. Never gonna happen. Outer Territory says, Benjamin, this is your channel. Everybody show Benjamin some love. And for heaven's sakes, don't send him pictures of you smoking. He can't take it. $49 going on 187, Walter. Benjamin says, ah, ha, 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 ha. I'll tell you what, Benjamin. I'll stop smoking when whatever bad habits you do, you stop. Benjamin looks to be a minor, so has a good point. You be sure to stay away as it sounds like you will, says Outer Territories. Yes, stay away from smoking. Do drugs, don't go to school. Go to school, don't do drugs. Good, I'm smoking, says Benjamin. I hear you. Walter says, a quitter never wins. That's right. I'm no quitter. My sister asked me that. Jake, why don't you quit smoking? I said, because my mama didn't raise no quitter. That's why. I'm in it to win it, baby. A winner never quits, says Walter. That's right. A quitter never wins and a winner never quits. It's a cyclical thing. That means I'm a winner. I am 10 years old and I'm smoking. Well, you shouldn't be. It's bad for your health. As long as you're aware of that, though, you do you, boo. Ain't my job to police the internet. CWL says, one of the neighbors asked me for a cigarette. I told him that I don't smoke. And he said that he saw me smoking in my barn. And I told him that was not a Marlboro. Outer Territory says, send Jake your mama's credit card and he'll say a prayer for you. He did that for me. I'm still waiting for the answer, but I'm confident. Yes. Send your credit card information to please don't screw me at jake.com. Outer Territory says, CWL? And he answered, oh, I know. That was the point for asking. Yeah, he wanted some of them left-handed cigarettes you got out there. Dana says, I have been in Turkey, Istanbul last year, and everybody there was smoking. That was fantastic scenery. I bet Turkey is beautiful. I'd love to see that place. What part of Turkey were you in? Stop comment. I don't know if I can. Benjamin, CWO says, I gave him one. I'm not stingy. Well, that's kind of built in. You're stinky. How do you know? You've never smelled me before. I might smell like roses, and you'd never be knowing it. Outer says, there is so much of it in some of the old movies that it really stands out, especially how everybody would just toss their butts or throw them on the ground, even inside. Yeah, because this used to be America. Dana says, beautiful old Constantinople, which is called Istanbul. Yes, it is. I would love to see that place. I bet it's beautiful. CWL says, I'm trying to defeat glaucoma one person at a time, right? I'm smell beautiful, says Benjamin. Excellent. Crisps are yummy says, hi, crisps are yummy. What's the stream for? It's for your entertainment. That's what it's for. And your education and your edification. And Amanda says, hi, Crisps, welcome back. CWL says, but lately I've been on a gummy kick. I've never tried the gummies. Is that a thing? Does that work? Stop talking. You stop talking. Who are you to insinuate yourself into my conversation? I don't stop talking, ever. Even in my sleep. I'm talking when I'm dead. So, you know. Walter says, hi, yummy. Then it says, the word of truth. Amen. Dang, Jake, you attract quite the eclectic group of newcomers. Been advertising on Nickelodeon? No, it's the thing YouTube does to me. I don't know why they do it. Amanda says, gummies are yummies. Okay. CWO says, yeah, but it's a different kind of high. No, you stop talking. No, you stop talking. Watch this. Stop talking. Amanda says, Very much so, CWL. Crisps or Yummy says, was your father in World War One? No, it was not. Thank you, Amanda. FNAF Animations. Hi. Hi, are you an animator? Welcome to the show. Come on in, take your shoes off. It's going to be great. Wiggle your toes. Amanda says, FNAF, hi, welcome. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Hi, FNAF, says Walter. Outer says, Ashland Barley has a grocery store or gas station, but has 3 dispensaries, as I probably mentioned before. Oh, God, this is remote as hell. I'm going to die out. Oh, it can't be that bad. Thank you, says FNAF. You're welcome. CWL says, I recommend that if you try them, don't try the whole thing. Eat a quarter of it and wait an hour. I've heard that. Eat barley, not barley. Eat barley, not barely. I can't read. I'm illiterate. And I'm tired. I really do have to go to bed. Amanda says, edibles are way better than the flower and totally different high. I'll stick to opioids and uppers. It's not my thing. It's your thing, that's fine with me. It's not my thing. I didn't get this gray hair for nothing. I have the 100 milligram gummies, and I only take about a quarter of it at a time, says CWO. Wow. That's like Joe Rogan territory. I mean, I'm down to try anything once. Barley, you said. Ashland barely has a grocery store. Got it. Time for Betty Bye. I sweat blood to spell things right and be obscure as possible, but need cooperation. I hear you, buddy. Damn, CWL. You go, boy, says Amanda. And after about an hour, nap time. After about 4 hours, nap time, says CWL. Yeah, I'm getting to where I can't even see anymore. I may have a problem. I like weed. It's not a problem. Sir, you got a weed problem. No, I like weed, but it ain't a problem. Outer Territory says, and it's mountain time here, so just starting the popcorn for Magnum P.I. Oh my God, Higgins. Higgins has transformed into something quite delicious, has she not? Yummy, yummy. CWL says, and it's free for me. Well, that's good. Can't beat that. Amanda says, it's the plant of medicine. Not a problem. Well, that's debatable. I know. You're going to talk about cannabinoids and you're going to talk about this and that. I get it. I know. I've done the research. But it's still out there. It hadn't been tested properly yet. But it does a lot of other things too. You can do almost anything with that plant. It's pretty amazing. It's almost like God invented something. WTF, Higgins was the older English caretaker of the estate in the show. You're talking about the old Magnum P.I. I'm talking about the new one. Have you not seen the new one? See the new one. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. CWL says, I still work, but I don't go to work high. Right. Imagine that, says Amanda. I don't go to work high either. I get high at home and then go to work. I don't. Danny says, I have never smoked the marijuana nor anything else. I am afraid to even try. Well, that's fantastic that you haven't. And if you haven't this far, there's no need for you to. Despite all of the hype, it's not necessary for a happy life. So if you can get by without having done it, bravo. That's fantastic. But don't be scared of anything. By the same token, you're too old to be scared of things. Let me spoil the ending for you. You're going to die. Might as well enjoy your trip to it. That being said, don't do it if you hadn't done it already. Just for practicality's sake. I'll wait until I get home so I can really enjoy it, says CWL. I hear you. Says, that's good, Dana, isn't it? One of my friends has me a shrooms, and I told her, don't try them, says CWL. Outer Territory says, I have a nice fist-size aromatic bloom on my own plant here. No, have not seen the new Magnum. Have you seen the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Or the new Ben-Hur? Are there new ones of those? I have not seen them, if there are. But I'll look into it because I like the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So if it's any good, let me know. But the new Magnum is fair. It's not the greatest thing. It's not as good as the old Magnum, but it's good. It's an entertaining watch. They take a different take. But specifically, just take the time to look up the new Higgins. You'll thank me later. That's all I can say. CWL says, yeah, and the new one sucks. Well, the new one what? The new Mr. and Mrs. Smith or the new Magnum? Because the new Magnum it's not as good as the old one. It's more like the new Hawaii 5.0. That same kind of vibe. Way more modern. Way more corporate networky. And the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Okay. Well, if it sucks, then I won't bother. But I did like the movie. The movie was good. Let me guess. The new Mr. and Mrs. Smith stars a Mexican and a black girl. Right? Outer Territory says, yep, race switched BS. Magnum was Magnum. And instead of rehearsing shit, instead of rehearsing shit, rehashing shit, they could have just done a fresh thing. No talent these days. I don't believe that. Just no risk and no imagination. Well, the gender swap thing, but not the race swap thing, as far as I know. It's still the same race of people. But Higgins is a girl now. And that show is worth watching just to watch how she wears a shirt. I'm just saying. Take my advice or don't. You're missing out if you don't, though. Black guy and an Asian woman. I knew it was something like that. Because I ain't got nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with black people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just getting tired of them switching things for the sake of switching them. It doesn't make any sense to me. And if black people can't like that, I wouldn't like it if people were pandering to me and put me on everything just because I'm me. And I wouldn't like that at all. Write a new character, something that I can shine in. You know, like that Black Panther. That was pretty good. I didn't watch it, but a lot of people love that show. There's nothing special about another set of tits by this point. Believe me, you hadn't seen these. They are special. And the whole package, not just the tits. She's a pretty girl, is what I'm saying. Very strong. Oh, yeah, I remember when Nick Fury was David Hasselhoff and not Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, I remember that too. I also remember when Captain April was an old white guy. Now he's a black man that's the same age as Captain Pike. But Captain Pike was supposed to be his first officer. And he's now an admiral, but they're the same age. I give up. Canon doesn't matter anymore. Okay, that's enough talking for me. I got to go to bed. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Walter, give me a call. Everybody else, have a great night. God bless you, and I'll see you Sunday night at 8 p.m. right here. Have a great night. May God's blessings abound in your life, and may his grace light your path everywhere you go. And I will see you soon. Good night, all. Thanks for watching. If I can turn this thing off. Until next time, enjoy your wild America.